the legacy was born. I send me rapper around, about the fucking mics I left torn.
Quick little nutrition video. I am currently 198, almost 200 pounds. A little bit of pooch, a little bit of water weight, but I've gained some size in my traps, on my back, and overall, not too bad, not too bad. So anyway, time for me to recalculate my calories, figure out how much protein, carbs, and fats and all that, how many calories I need on a daily basis to continue to grow, because I stopped. Basically, I started putting on weight. I got up to 195, 197, and I'm just kind of slowly plateauing because I'm not eating more, right? So now I'm going to increase my food intake and see where that takes me. And hopefully it'll take me up to about 205 or something like that. Jump on some good old creatine and see if I can crack the 210 mark. So anyway, what do I like to do? I like to kind of stir fry. Because obviously when you're hitting the diet prep, when you're dieting for competition, you're going to cut out all the bad foods and it's going to get very bland and very dull. Since I'm not really in a contest prep, but I'm still trying to gain mass, I'm gonna make some slightly different food. Anyway, enough of the talking. What I got here, obviously I got my pan. I got my steaks, right? Got some sirloin steaks, 1, 2, 3 of them right there. I'm still gonna break down how much protein's in there in this whole meal, and that'll kind of divide up how long this lasts me. I could normally, for a day, I could kind of split this in half, and I normally do fine with that, right? Amongst other meals that I eat, but just for this particular meal. So I got 3 steaks right there. I already chopped up an onion, champignons. What's champignons? That's mushrooms, right? And bell peppers. I normally like to put some red bell peppers and yellow ones in there too, just for the color. It makes me think that it tastes better, but that's all I got today. Anyway, so as of right now, I'm gonna grab my vegetable oil, which obviously if I had olive oil would be a little bit better, but I don't. Turn this bad boy on, boom. Turn this guy on. Put about a teaspoon or such in there. And wait for it to heat up. I will be back in a second. Searing the onions, getting it ready. I normally like to put the onions in there first for a few minutes. Just kind of sear it up. No particular reason. I guess if you put the onions in there raw into your food, it'll just kind of sting a little bit too much. So I like to just kind of mellow them down a little bit. Once that is done, for about, I'm making a video, woman. That's my woman thinking I'm talking to myself. Anyway, next comes some champignons or mushrooms. Hold on. I hope people leave comments saying stuff like, "Hey, that chick sounds like a man." So I got 3 of these steaks. One of them is about 7 ounces. That's with the fat. So I'm gonna trim the fat off. So that's still close to 7 ounces, all of them. So I'm gonna calculate it as being 7 ounces of steak. Top sirloin, and then started using a knife. I found that using the scissors is freaking phenomenal. And I like to cut it in small little pieces instead of big chunks. Although if you were doing a contest prep and you really need to know how much weight you have, it'll make more sense to put a big piece in there so you know exactly what you're eating. But I'm not at that level right now. So I just do it like this. Cut them in there. Just cut up about 2 carrots. I will not take those carrots after I had the meat searing in a little bit. I reduced the heat down to about 1/4. I'll toss those carrots in there already. The carrots will not taste good when they're not cooked all the way through because they're kind of hard and chewy. For example, like those, I want to put them towards the end. So I want them to be kind of fresh tasting. So, put that in there. And then, drop the top back on. Montreal steak seasoning is the one I like to go with. I like to toss that in there relatively early in order for the seasoning and the taste to submerge and get in there with the meat. So, I'm gonna go pretty heavy on the seasoning, especially if you're not like in the contest prep, because right now I'm not too worried about sodium at all. I don't even account for it at all. So, boom. This is very high in protein as of right now. Obviously, as you can see, a lot of meat. Okay, carbs are kind of low, so we're gonna bring that up by obviously getting our carb source, sweet potato. I just toss them into the microwave, poke some holes in there like this, and cook it for about 5 minutes. Now I put it in the microwave for about 15 minutes. I break it down by 5-minute increments. Using the glass top because I'm trying to retain the fluid. Okay, if I went without it, obviously it's gonna distill the water and then it'll just be kind of dry and you'll be left over with just the meats and stuff like that. So I use the top to maintain the fluid in there. So it's gonna create somewhat of some sauce. I'm gonna toss some light soy sauce on there, but obviously if you were contest prepping, I would stay away from this because the sodium on this stuff, for all you guys that don't know, the sodium is what's going to make your your skin retain water. 110 milligrams, a teaspoon. I'm just going to dunk that stuff on there. Is it the flavor? And I do that about when the meat's about halfway through. Alright, so that's soy sauce. It's gonna bind with the water. I didn't add water. Basically, that's just the water coming out of the meat, stuff like that, and some of the fat. And that's gonna bind together with that, and that's gonna create our sauce a little bit later. So I turned it on low right now, and all I'm doing is trying to boil the meat to make sure it's cooked all the way through. That's it. Boom, pop back on, keep that sauce in there. That is about done. So now I'm gonna grab my cut up vegetables, toss them on there.
I can't hear. Sours. It's an automated thing that's very quiet.
Right, so I know not everybody lives up in North America, but that is the finished product of the food, right? I still got the stove on low because I'm trying to get some of that fluid out still. See how it's kind of watery? All right, so I am done. Obviously, I'm gonna eat this one today. The rice-a-roni with the stir fry and a chunk of sweet potato, one for the wife. I chopped everything down to 6 servings. So one of these servings minus the rice-a-roni right here is 18 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fat, 21 grams of protein, and it's about 220 calories total-ish. It's just a ballpark, but it's close enough. So anyway, there is one of several meals of the day. So obviously if you know that this meal has that amount of nutrition's in there already, you already know, like, hey, if I have this, my protein shake in the morning with a banana, so you got your banana over here with your protein shake, you have this one, like, 3-4 hours later, you have your post-workout shake afterwards, can of tuna, chicken breast, and maybe fish fillet or casein. That may suffice for you for a whole day. Anyway, so that's this one particular one. Tasty. It is actually pretty tasty. Anyway, I'm about to chow down.